Hi, I'm Glenn from Get Down to Dirty Prospecting. Today we're at mine sites. This is a little shaft that goes down, I don't know, it's probably about 15 metres to 20 metres deep. And today what we're trying to do is work out how the old timers did it. These old timers were probably in the 1880s. They were timber cutters most of the time, and they were part-time prospectors, mainly when they had some rain so they could actually do some test panning to work out if there was gold, and then they'd work their way to finding where the reefs were. So that's what we're going to do today. So, burning daylight, let's get to it. Here's the deepest of the shafts. There's a little staghorn there, and it's quite deep. It goes down, and these were all duds. They were trying to find the main lead, but none of these mines on this part held gold. The only one that held gold was a drive. So they were trying to work out where the line was. So yeah, this is work done for nothing. We'll keep moving, we'll show you some more. You can imagine all the quartz and veins running through here, and just the 1 litre had it, but you can imagine they would have only have got so much. There'd be so much mist around here, but that's life, isn't it? Okay, here's probably the last of the mills, the mines on top of the hill. We've walked our way up, so there's this one here, and just a bit of quartz at the top, but as I said, these were all duds. And if we can scan, the mine is down there, which is the one that had the gold, and we're going to go to that in a minute. But if you scan all the way down there and down into a creek, that's where the battery was, and there's still a steam motor. And I wonder how they actually got the rock to it, because this was a producing mine. I just think of the work that went to doing that would have been insane. Anyway, burning daylight, we'll get to the bottom one, and I'll show you how they actually loamed their way to finding where the actual reef was. So we'll get to that. I'm on top of the main mullock heap. The shaft runs through there. Well, not a shaft, it's a drive, runs through there that had the gold in it. There's the creek running down there. It's pretty rainforesty, but a lot of these trees are really suffering from the drought. So what they would have done, all right, there's all the timber cutters. These were huge trees. Came along, and as they were felling them, they had rain, so when they had a bit of time, the creeks had a bit of water. They're dry as a bone, last 2 years dry. So they found a few specks lower down in a creek. Gradually they would do test pan after test pan, working their way up the creek. It wasn't rich. It's not like great alluvial or anything. It was just enough to show that there was gold in the area. So they kept working and doing test pans all the way. And as they got to here, they would have still got probably a few more colours in the dish. And then as they go up past it, the gold would have ran out. So no more colours past here. All of a sudden, no more. So then they start loaming. They start going up that hill. They do a few test pans, and then they come to this side, well, either side, and they do test pans. And when they find it on the hill a little bit, they keep loaming and doing section, where it's a bit richer, a bit poorer, and gradually work their way up until they find where it's coming from. So loaming was quite a big procedure, and they needed the water to do it. So that's why they're only doing their prospecting part-time. And eventually they loam their way up to that spot where the gold shed from originally. And this is what is called loaming. Big procedure, so they go, once they've gone past where the gold's shedding, they know in the creek that it's got to be below that section, and then they go on the hills to work out where it's actually shedding from. So today I'm going to try and get down there a little bit. It's all lantana, which they didn't have back then, and get a couple of samples below this big heap. I don't know if I'm going to find anything. Everything's changed so much here regarding how they got the dirt out, what's been covered up, but I'll try a little trench below and see if we can get a few colours, and then we'll show you now the actual shaft. Right. Isn't it beautiful? What are they called?
Bird's nest.
Bird's nest, yeah, beautiful bird's nest growing out. You can see that we were in rainforest territory here. This is the shaft running through. I still haven't got my pans worth yet, but I'm going to do that soon. And we're walking up to the shaft. Now this shaft is not a safe one. I did have a mate who came here 15 to 20 years ago, and there were lots of bats in here, and he used to collect the bat droppings for his garden. Because it's only 30 metres from the dirt road at the top. But you certainly wouldn't go in here now. It's really dangerous. As you can see, look at the cracks in here. It's all ready to give way one day. Not that I'm going to make it do that, but that just keeps going down there. That's the drive. So this is all filled in the last 100 years. Probably 140 years, I should say. Yes. And isn't it weird? The strata, roundish sort of rocks on top of the main rock, which is that grey rock that had the quartz in it. It's like a shaly, it's like a shale with the quartz in it here. Interesting though. So time, and I'll get a couple of sackfuls and we'll head off and see if we can actually get a colour. It's interesting down there. It's very deep. It's not deep, it's a shaft, and it just keeps following, and it actually runs to the contour of the other shafts at the top. So it's actually, when you look at the land, it's actually at the same level that they put the shafts down to try and find these rich shoots of gold. So yeah, very interesting. I'll time to get back into it. You can cut out and whatever. Just got a small sample from below the mine, or one of the mines. I now believe there's more than one drive, but we'll soon find out. There might be something in here. Taking a section below how they used to do it in the early days. So we'll pan this off. I'm not expecting anything, but always worth a try. Well, very interesting. I just met about 5 people and they went down to check that main drive because the fire they thought had come through and it hadn't. And they were mentioning another drive that was much bigger. Today I'm not going to look for that because it's hot, it's middle of summer, I'm pretty well over it. I've got a small sack of quartz ready to crush and a small sack of dirt from below the mine, which they would have had to have loamed up to actually find that. But who knows, we'll give it a go and we'll try and find it. So over and out for now.